We're done with chapter 1. Some of you still have work to do, that's fine, but let's go ahead and look at what we are going to do in chapter 1. We're going to start reviewing for the test. It's going to take a second to get done with that. So I'm just going to go over what we need to know. First thing we need to know probably is the distributive property. Okay, and so I'm going to give you a problem and see if you remember how to do it. Okay, write that example and see if you can do it. Okay, this is all it is, right? This would be what, 24? Okay, so this is it. I am going to have somebody do this. I'm going to have somebody do this on test day. It happens every year, and I don't know what to do about it. And so I'm going to try to stop it, and I try to stop it every year. Someone is going to write one of these two answers. So someone for sure is going to write this. That's not right. And then there's going to be somebody else that's going to write this. Okay. So the directions, and we'll get to what the directions say in a little bit. Remember, when we're doing just one thing, I don't even know how the equal sign got in here. Okay, some people are bothered that there's no equal sign, so they just add it. And why not add it in between the x and the 64? That's not how we do things. So make sure this is not what you're doing when you do the distributive property. Okay, how did they get 64x? What did they do? Are we allowed to add 40x and 24? We got to keep it separated. Second thing we need to know how to do. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of this. This is, let's keep it in a color that shows up good. Okay. Combined like terms. So I think these are like terms, yeah? And maybe these guys are like terms. So this will end up being a negative 1x. I don't have to put the 1, but I can. Plus maybe 22. Is that it? Okay. Third thing that's going to be on the test is going to be just this. You can't see it, so I'll move it. Simplify. Okay. And basically what simplify is, it is these two things combined, right? And the directions means there's not going to be an equal sign. You're just going to make it from a bigger whatever to smaller. And usually you're going to end up with two terms like this and this. So let's look at a simplification problem. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is what? We're going to do the distributive property, right? And then right through your line. Is that right? And we get to leave it, right?
No.
Second thing is combine like terms, yes? So I'm going to combine maybe this guy and maybe this one, but I can't combine this one, right? So is that just 8x plus 35? Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to the fourth thing. Fourth thing that we need to do is, well, we're going to do the add or subtract step. And I guess I should say now we're going to start working on equations. And if I say equations, that means there's going to be an equal sign. So let's do two little examples of the add or subtract step. And it is a challenge for me to make this any harder than it is. And again, everything in math is hard until you understand it. And once you understand it, it's no longer hard. So I'm going to do one of these, and I'm going to do one of these. And see if you can get both of these done. Okay, so this is an add step because we're going to do the inverse operation, or the opposite. The opposite of x minus 6, the opposite of minus 6 is going to be 8 plus 6 is, I'm done. Is it on screen? Good. Okay, this is a subtract step. It's really the same step. The opposite of plus 2 or positive 2 is, okay, so we should be glad that these questions are going to be tested as well, right? They're not as much work, okay? Some people get really confused by the simplify stuff, but not by this stuff. So this is easier because I'm going to do one more thing, and then we're going to stop. So the next step, 5, and then we'll probably continue tomorrow, is going to be your multiply, divide step. Okay, multiply, divide step. So let me give you two problems like this. Let's call this a 5x equals 15. Let's make it negative, just to make it more fun. And then let's call this x divided by 3 equals 2. Okay. So this means multiplication, so I'm going to use not the multiply step, I'm going to use the divide step, right?
Yes.
I'm going to divide both sides by -5. Everything over there. Everything by that coefficient. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Negative by negative is a positive. I get an x. 15 divided by -5 is, I'm done. Right here we got, that is a fraction. You can treat it like a fraction. We'll go over that again, but really you just got to do this. Okay, 3x divided by 3 would be 1x, and 2 times 3 is 6. All right, there will be a part 2.